with Steve Monahan and the Puck Dogs here with our live show. Day 2 of the full day without sports. I know there are still some sports going on. We got UFC tonight. I know nothing about it. Zero. But we got guys in the Facebook group. Of course, we got write-ups on the UFC matches, and I was going to say matches, but that's boxing, right? This is boxing. We have write-ups on. I think is the truck series going, Chris? NASCAR, anything like that?
I thought it was supposed to be today, but I thought they were also saying that it was going to be postponed. I don't know.
In our Slack group that I communicate with all the writers, the last I checked, it was still going, and I did the hashtag left turn only bitches. So see what's going on.
I didn't see there were. I thought that truck series was supposed to go last night, but I haven't had a chance to look this morning to see if it did go last night.
So I had an idea. I mean, I'm going to throw this out there. Like I said, I don't expect a ton of people to tune in today, but I think we go ahead with Selection Sunday. I think we just go ahead and do it. I think we select our own brackets, and then we play it out.
Just run a simulator?
No, I think we just select our brackets and we declare a champion. I think that's it. Really, I mean, that's the way it should go anyway.
Florida already did that.
My favorite comment yesterday in the Facebook group was what I wouldn't give for the Houston Rockets to be destroying my parlay right now. Because the Rockets have crushed parlays. So, Steve, what are you doing in this time off? It's I know that a lot of the other websites that we compete with are in a hiatus. Chris knows behind the scenes we're in anything but a hiatus. We're kind of going. We've kind of decided to crank it up, and while I know the other guys are pulling the old, we're going to be back bigger and better than ever. I don't think they're doing anything to make that happen. While behind the scenes, we'll have our multi-capper site for sure ready. We'll have our T-shirts for the giveaway certainly ready by then, and we'll have we have a whole new content stream that we're doing. Plus, we're going to continue to do the live show every single day, just like we always do. I'm also going to do a series of videos on some other topics and things that are going to put us in line for where we're going to be. And I think as kind of like what we said about the stock market yesterday, it's like the news is kind of out here. Okay, now we have a team that's tested negative, for the corona. So the good news is starting to happen. We're gonna start hearing the rescheduling and what the plan is, So we're gonna know, and people are gonna be chomping at the bit, to get action out. And we're gonna be front and center like we always are. But Steve, what are you doing in the meantime? Anything? What's life like in New Jersey here with the corona? I see the news, right? Which I never watch the news. This is the first time I've watched the news in 13 years. Everyone knows you could put 25 political candidates in a room of 35 people, and I would probably not be able to get. I'd probably still score only like 70% on picking out who these people are. That's about how close I am, including Mike Pence. I have no idea what this guy looks like. Right? No idea. I know that yesterday behind Trump, finally he got to the microphone and I was like, that's Mike Pence. It's like, that's really what it was. And that's honest, the other people, it just seemed like an infomercial, right? When he was talking very big words. These are very big words. Here. National emergency. 2 very big words. I like it. I'm not a political person one way or the other. I really don't care, but I do love that. 2 very big words. National emergency. It's like, how are those big words? They're powerful words, strong words, but they're not very big words. I mean, you want to hear big words? We got Chris Ruffalo down here.
Well, but New Jersey, really hit home, I guess, a couple days ago. Schools are now closed for at least a couple weeks, and all the water and Armageddon at the shopping grocery stores, and
we're not preparing for a blizzard here. This is not a blizzard. This
is New Jersey. It's the same thing if there's 6 inches of snow, for Christ's sake. So
blizzard.
Right?
I got one of these out the window over here.
Mhm.
Blizzard, -30, blowing snow, drifting, blizzard. That's a regular occurrence up here in Canada.
Well, everybody's bunkering down, it seems like, and we'll see how we fill the time. But, like everybody else, this lack of sports is really mind blowing, to be honest with you. It's just, it's surreal. It really is.
It's just
My local store, we were there yesterday, and it was $20 for 15 rolls of toilet paper, or you could buy a pack of 8 boxes of Kleenex for $6. So, what do you think I bought? The $6 box.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm gonna be the one buying the toilet paper at the garage sales, for like 50 cents a roll, for 50 cents for an 8-pack, because we have enough. I mean, we're 2 people. It's like I'm gonna guess within the next month and a half, there's gonna be plenty of toilet paper for everyone. I didn't think the virus killed the toilet paper. I don't understand it on the mainland. For dry goods like that, I don't understand it. Here, where they're talking about closing off the ports to the ships coming in, that's a little different story. And yes, I'm in the market for a fishing rod. I am. I admit it. And it's maybe a spear gun as well. But, I can see it. And it's like, the thing is, it's like, I bought a 20-pound bag of rice. I bought some canned tomatoes, which I'll make my sauce if I don't need them. And it's like, I got... We'd already talked Italian Sunday dinner. We already covered that topic here a couple days ago.
we could talk about it again, though. That's never a sore spot for me.
Mr. Brajol down there in the corner. It's like, did you say Brajol?
my ears perked up. I was checked out of the conversation until you said Brajol, and then I woke up.
So back when I first moved to New York, my first girlfriend there was Italian, and I went to her family's house for Thanksgiving, and they wheeled out the lasagna and meatballs and like all this stuff, and it was like it's just stuffed, you're just stuffed. Then they bring out the bird and everything else. It was like, oh no, what just happened here? It was like you're just dead in the water. You got nowhere to go.
No.
You got nowhere to go. It's like
turkey stupor mixed with lasagna, mixed with meatballs, mixed with tiramisu.
Oh man, my friend's wedding in Brooklyn, Italian. The one who I used to play golf with. I told you I used to go to his house for Sunday dinner. At his wedding, it was like that. The appetizers. The person I brought to the wedding was like, "This is the meal, right?" It's like. No. It's like you finish this giant thing with the wall of lobsters and, everything else. And then you go upstairs and you sit down and like, this is absolutely not the meal. It's like you go up and there's the prosciutto over the melon, and you sit down at the table already. It's like, we're just getting started. It's like...
Strap in.
Unbutton the pants, it's like...
I was going to say, you can practically hear the belt loops going down a couple notches.
That was the first wedding I'd ever been to where people were giving the band $100 to play a song. That's the kind of crowd that was.
You walk in, that was the first wedding I ever wore track pants to.
It was definitely some interesting times. But, we got, back to sports. We have baseball season on the way. They say 2 weeks. We still haven't heard, from them. They're not going to lead, right? We know that. Baseball's never going to take the lead on anything like this. Baseball, more than likely, is saying this is what's going on behind the baseball scenes, right? We know what's going on behind the NBA scenes, where they're kind of like, let's see if we can play out the whole season, all the way to the end, and then have the playoffs in July and August, and then let's keep it like this way forever, right? We'll start the season in December. We'll run against baseball in the summer with our playoffs, and this way we don't have to go up against the NFL except for like a week or two. So that's what's going on in the NBA. In baseball, the union's voting to make sure that if the season is shortened by a game that the players get paid exactly the same thing that they were doing, because this is how baseball works, right? It's like that the players are getting paid exactly what they're going to make, regardless of how many games are played. That's what the argument. That's what baseball is doing. I can assure you of that. The NFL is probably deciding what they're going to do with the draft, and the NBA, the same thing. You know, what are we going to do with the draft now as well? These are other things that are going on, but these are all easy answers. As far as the Masters golf tournament, I think we might have lost it this year. I don't see how they're going to squeeze it in.
It's very much in jeopardy, that's for sure. No doubt.
They'll cancel a different tournament, a smaller name brand tournament to put in the Masters.
I don't know if they'll allow that, because the thing is that the Masters are kind of known for being their own entity to begin with, and very bossy. And I think that might be seen as them muscling themselves in and around. And they might do it, they might not. I'm not sure, but they're definitely, Jack Nicklaus has spoke out about this, and he's a member of Augusta as well. And, of course, one of the white members of Augusta, right? the many white members of Augusta, a whole nother issue. But, I think that, he knows, with who he's dealing with here, at Augusta. He knows. These guys are just in a whole different world than the rest of us. It's like, I don't know how much you guys know about the Masters, but I'll give you a couple tidbits that I know off the top of my head. Okay, the Masters the Masters gets paid the lowest TV rights of any sporting event on television. They get paid the least by CBS. Because they take the least amount of money, they have the most amount of say as to what goes on for the broadcast of the Masters. Okay? If you notice, during the Masters, they don't call the fans the gallery. They don't call them the fans. They call them the patrons. When they discuss the front and back nine, it's always the first nine and the second nine when they're broadcasting the Masters. Not at any other event do they do that. Okay, and that is specific on the order of the Masters. They never talk about how they dye the water. They never talk about, like, if the flowers came early, that they put fake flowers up on the plants for the show. They never talk about any of that stuff. And if they do, that announcer is fired immediately. Gary McCord said that the greens were trimmed with bikini wax. He was fired. Well, he wasn't fired from CBS. He was not allowed to cover the Masters anymore. And he hasn't been back. It just goes on and on and on. So these guys do things a lot differently than any other sporting event. Not just any other golf tournament, but any other sporting event. They have more control over it than anybody else. And they also have the limited field. A lot of different factors, because if you play the Masters later on, is it the people that are qualified for the Masters now, or is it the people that would qualify for the Masters then? Because they don't allow not everyone's allowed to play in the Masters, right? Golf's an interesting game in that respect, in that it's one of the sports that still is living in a different world a lot of the time. I know Tiger Woods has done a lot to break through that. Tom Watson was super vocal about it. About the way that the places where these tournaments are held. It would just be interesting to see how it all plays out there. But I would think that the Masters is probably in a little bit, because of the way that the country has gone. The Masters is probably in more of a position where they can't. 10 years ago, they would have muscled their way in. They would have just muscled their way in. They would have said, Milwaukee Open, screw you, we'll play them this week.
I didn't know that they closed after May. It closes after Memorial Day.
Yeah, they're not even open in the summer.
Wow.
They don't need to.
No, I know. It's weird. It's the middle of summer and they're not open
for it, Augusta, if you could even get one. They wouldn't let any of us go anywhere near the joint. That's for damn sure. I would love to play there. They would never let me in. I played Plantation in Kapalua. They gladly took my $345 and said, "Here's your card."
Come on down. You
I
want
got to
to join
say
one
that
tomorrow?
one thing about this is that Hawaiian golf is going to be wide open because the tourists are leaving, as they leave, but no one's coming here. A lot of people are canceling.
No.
So, Chris, what do you got planned for tonight? You going to watch some Netflix or something? You guys see you're at your fiance's house.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna try to watch the fight tonight. Got sauce on the stove, preparing for Sunday sauce.
Nice. Will
Uh,
there be
yeah,
lasagna? The Ruffalo.
I might make lasagna. I don't know.
I like a good lasagna.
Might make some pizza.
What kind
Got
of
some dough in the fridge still.
do you use like the hand pressed Italian pasta, or you just use like ronzoni?
I got the wheel. I got the little Craig.
Crazy bastard over here coming over.
All right.
What is anyone
People, yeah.
anyone in our audience
wait,
in
huh?
Vegas? What does Vegas look like right now? Because this would have been this was the week, right? Yesterday and the day before. These were the days we were really looking forward to. These last 3 days, and then of course tomorrow, and then all the way into next week. I know Sports Chat Place were number one in college basketball on Google, so it's like this was our time. It's like I think that I don't like to talk too much about our competition. Well, I do all the time, right? I say that. I always say that, and I always like, well, there's certain ones that are a competition I'm not allowed to name by name anymore, but it's what you learn through $120,000 worth of legal fees. But I think that a lot of our competition is sitting there doing nothing. I do, and I know that we're doing a lot behind the scenes. So I'm really, really excited. We're reinventing ourselves at Sports Chat Place as well, and expanding on our entire arm of business. And that's something. Yeah, the Win is closed. We're not a news site, It's like we're not going to sit here and regurgitate ESPN. It's like I got news for you. ESPN, CBS, all those guys, they're way better at the news than we are. Number one, they get the news first, and number two, they have access to all the people. Right? I'm going to say it's like we could call the Win, and they'll try and book me into a room. So what'll happen? They're not going to It's like I want to talk about the sports book being closed. How many nights will you be staying? It's like that's really how that conversation is going to go. It's like at least they'll have.
They also shut down a bunch of all-you-can-eat buffets. The buffets are closed down in Vegas. The whole pile of them. Can't have all these people flocking to buffets.
I'm not a buffet guy. Not a buffet guy. Steve and I went to Hell's Kitchen the last time we were out there in Vegas. I thought it was okay, but we didn't. I'm not a buffet guy. I think that one thing that people ask me all the time is like, "Oh, they must comp you in Vegas and everything like that." Absolutely not. They want no part of me in Vegas. And I'll tell you, it's not just in the sports book. It's at the tables too, because I'm probably one of the luckiest people. Steve's known me my whole life, and it's like I'm the type of guy. If I won the lottery, most people would be surprised why it's not my second or third time winning.
Right.
We were at the craps table. Steve's girlfriend, myself, a couple other people, and I mean, only 3 or 4 people rolled. We were there for probably 2.5 hours. It was like one of those, you open your shirt up to drop the chips, and you got to carry them to the thing. It's like it was one of those. But yeah, I like playing craps and stuff like that. But I think the casinos are closing too, right? They're making it so you can't have more than 100 people in there either. So, but I do think that the news is out, and I do think that this is going to pass, and we're going to forget all about it. That's
Us
really,
up here as Canadians are going to find a cure. We're almost got the cure. It's not going to take long.
well, I think what else we're starting to see is that people are recovering. Is that a lot of people are recovering. That the bulk of the people are recovering, just like any other sickness that goes around. Like I had the bird flu, I recovered. I was sick as a dog, man. I did not enjoy the bird flu. I'll tell you that much. I went to I had to go to I was in Vegas when I caught it because it was Asian, and there's a lot of Asians in Vegas, and I caught the Asian bird flu in Vegas, and I was like knocked out. I went to the emergency room. I felt like I was it, and they said, "You have the bird flu," and I was like, "Damn it!" It's like and I was sick as a dog, man, and I still did the show. I still did my videos, but so you guys probably didn't. I think it was probably one of those ones where like, man, you look sick. It's like people say that, and I still did the show. I still did the live. I still did the videos, but I had to go to like a Walgreens, like in a city far, far away, to get the Tamiflu. To get it, because it was like, remember there was a run on the Tamiflu, right? You couldn't get it anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they had like one dose left, and they saved it for me. And it's like, man, I felt good. Like in like 24 hours, I was like good as new. But these things, people are recovering for sure. People are going to get really
Because in
sick.
China, where broke, 7% of the people have been released and are cleared and healthy again.
Yeah, most people are.
Yeah.
I think you err on the side of caution. I think this one went a little bit too far. I think the hoarding of the toilet paper, I'm not really sure, but we saw that those stocks yesterday when the market rallied were up 10% or better. Walmart, Target, the guys who were talking behind Trump, right? Those guys. It's like, it's like, I'm like, why does it feel like I'm watching an infomercial here? It's like, yes, Walmart and Target the guy in Target is like, yes, we will do everything possible. And we are stocked well with toilet paper, ice cream, and other dry, non-perishable goods right now. It's like, what is that? Oh, man. See, Steve coughed. Corona.
All right. Leave the call.
But the thing is, this isn't the Ebola virus where, you're walking down the street and somebody's missing their shoulder or their half their face and their legs are falling off. It's like the flu.
It will pass. This will pass.
Else. It'll pass.
This will pass, man. And it's like, this will be, and this is not one of those things that like, will hurt sports like the Major League Baseball strike did. This is like, this is something that's going to make it better because this is the first time that something like this has happened that we're all in this together, right? It's like certain things like we had the missile, right? The missile alert here, right? It's like, remember that? It was like, all of a sudden it's like, what do you do then? I'll tell you one thing: when you have the missile alert come across your iPhone, toilet paper ain't gonna do it. It's like, what I feel like doing? It's like, what are you gonna? It's like, you got about 25 minutes. One thing I'm not gonna be doing is being at Costco hoarding toilet paper. That's for damn sure. It's like, oh man. But it's not a blizzard. It's not a hurricane. It's not a tsunami. It's nothing like that. It's just, I don't really, and I think everybody else, like I said, is scrambling. Most of the other sites and people in our industry are going to be hurting a lot more than we are because we kind of were just getting going, We kind of were just getting it going. We had just gotten Sports Chat back. It was a month that we had Sports Chat back. And Pig Dogs hasn't been around that long. We haven't even launched our multi-capper site. And out of all the people that had premium memberships, only 3 people asked for refunds. The rest of the people asked that their premium membership be suspended and brought back when sports starts again. And if anyone else wants a refund or whatever, by all means, just shoot me an email, Mitch at pickdogs.com or Mitch at sportschatplace.com. No problem at all. Saturday in March with no sports, terrible. And the HBO movie stinks too. Throwing, it's like, how about that for a kick in the balls? It's like
UFC on at noon.
Yeah, but the UFC fights at 3:00 in the afternoon, right? It's on at that's
noon my time, so that's 2 Eastern.
It's 9 a.m. here. Rod, do you have any picks for UFC? Because I don't follow this stuff. I'm not going to pretend. We have it covered on both websites. I know that much.
Me either. I got nothing on that either.
For me, I'm going to take give me Kevin Lee by knockout at plus 150. I think he'll knock out Buddy. And I'll even give you a birdcage from the UFC. Here comes the birdcage. Birdcage in the UFC. I'm going to take Forminga on the money line, Kevin Lee on the money line, and Trinaldo on the money line. Should give you about plus 300.
Nice. There it is. It's like I haven't got the T-shirts in yet, but I think that we should do the. I think a couple things that I want to do in the future is have like a birdcage contest. You know, at the site where it's like, or in the Facebook group. You know, where people give their birdcage. Everyone gets to give one a day, and if you hit your birdcage, you get a birdcage T-shirt. You know, I hit my birdcage at Pick Dogs or Sport Chat or both. You know, it's like, you know, but it's like I can't. The company. So I've used two different companies for T-shirts. I used for this Sport Chat, which a lot of people have. I used one company, and they came out pretty nice. For the prior Sports Chat ones, I used a different company, and that was the company I used for this one. I've never had any of them shipped to Hawaii. I've always had them shipped somewhere else, and then I bring them back. It's like, so this time I had them shipped directly to Hawaii, and they sent it snail mail. So I think it's going to take a month to get here. So they're sitting in San Francisco. But we'll have them hopefully, you know, by the time baseball gets going. What does everyone think is going to be the next sport, like of the major sports, to come back? You guys think it's going to be NBA, or do you think baseball will beat them to the punch?
Hockey.
I think hockey.
Hockey.
I like hockey.
We're tough. Hockey, we come back.
Is hockey saying that they're going to resume the season, and play it out, or are they going to, you know, just pretend this, you know, this didn't happen? This way, where do the Lightning sit in the President's Cup in all of this? Because there'll be some extra tanking going on.
That's true.
Well, they haven't really said, but I mean, they haven't really said if they're going to modify the playoff structure, even if it goes like a best of 5, or if they cut it down to the top 8 teams or something, or if they're even open to pushing it to later in the summer, because that's, you know, they go into June as it is. The only problem I think would be having like maintainable ice at that point if you're going to go into July and maybe even August. But they were the only league to use the word pause instead of suspend, which I found kind of funny. Just because you can tell that these guys are just eager to sort of get back to business, get back to the ice, get back to doing what they were doing.
Well, I think everybody is, you know. We all are. We're all ready to get back, you know.
Yeah.
We're all ready to get back, but it's like, you know, I think at Sport Chat and Pick Dogs, and Chris knows behind the scenes, I've stayed in close touch with everybody. I'm not just like, we're just taking a break, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm staying in close touch with them every day, and we're trying to figure things out, and we're doing what we can to use this time to enhance our product. We've been in storm mode for 13 years, you know. We have been. We've been pedal to the metal, grind it out for 13 years straight. So this is the first time. I mean, I had 2 weeks off when I was fired from my own company. And then I, started the Pick Dogs YouTube channel. So I was fired around August 16th. I started the YouTube channel for Pick Dogs September 4th. That's how long I lasted in retirement. And then we launched the Pick Dogs site October 4th. And then February 12th is when we got Sports Chat back. So that's the timeline on things. But, you know, since 2007, I've been grinding content. First it was by myself, and then, you know, with various other people that have been with us, and the guys who are currently writing with us. A lot of the guys have been around with me for a long time at this point. But we've never gone back and done all the things that I wanted to do from the very beginning. I have a sports betting section that I've written 100 and something articles. Over 100 articles. Well over 100. I've written them. And I have them on my drive. I just couldn't figure out, I could never figure out, I need to take my articles and kind of map them out into different categories that make sense, and then, you know, link them together in a way that makes sense. So if I'm talking about bird cages, so first there's a top article on types of bets, and parlays would be under that, and then bird cages would kind of be under that, right? So it's like you have to do that, and I have that with everything, any kind of sports betting, like difference between a brick and mortar sports book versus an online sports book, what I would avoid, how do I pick an online sports book? All these things. I've written all of these articles. I mean, God, so many of them, and they're all long and detailed and everything. You guys, I don't know what I was thinking, man, but I sat down and did it. It took me about 2 weeks. I also wrote about every single state in the United States and where they stand on gambling. Probably needs to be updated. But, as far as where they stand in the history of gambling in that state, I have articles on all of them as well. So, a lot of stuff that we're doing behind the scenes. But, I think I'm going to watch, I haven't seen The Irishman yet, so I'm probably going to watch that one. I want to see the series The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I haven't seen that.
I've seen both.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
I'm on both.
I haven't seen either, so that is on my agenda. I saw, on the plane, I saw Jojo Rabbit, and I saw, which was hilarious. And I saw, what else did I see? Oh, Blinded by the Light. That's a good one. Have you seen that one, Steve? That's yours. Nah. That's a Steve Monahan one. It's all about Bruce Springsteen.
I haven't seen it yet, but it's on the to-do list.
Yeah, it's surprisingly good. It's like one that you wouldn't, think would be really good, but it was actually really good.
You see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood yet?
Yeah, I saw that one in the theater, and I saw it again on the plane on my last trip to San Diego. That one is. I thought the movie was a little choppy, but I thought that Brad Pitt was excellent, man. He was really good, and I think to be honest with you, Pitt doesn't get a lot of notoriety, and he did win the Oscar for that role. But I thought that in Moneyball and in The Big Short, he was awesome in both those movies as well. And I mean, he's a guy that's gotten better and better. I thought in The Big Short he was amazing. Not one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, but he deserved the Oscar for Best Supporting.
It was like I love when he's on the acid at the end and the guy's like. He says, have one of those names, and the guy's like, this guy says something, he's like, no, it's dumber than that. It's something dumber than that. It's like, of course, I'm going to play some golf today as well, but, so tomorrow, I'm thinking, maybe we do a bracket, just kind of figure it out. I think we give Kansas a 1 seed, the 1 overall seed, in the Midwest, and we kind of give Gonzaga the 1 in the West. Maybe in the South we could debate, if Dayton should get the 1 in the South because they're not going to get the Midwest, right? Because I'll go to Kansas who beat Dayton. But does Dayton deserve the 1 in the South, or maybe if Kentucky had won the SEC tournament, would they be worthy of the 1 in the South? Maybe Louisville as well.
Florida State,
right. Florida State as well has got an argument, and then the East, another tough one, right? Because it could be one of those teams too. Louisville, it could be Kentucky, and then Duke is a number 2. Where are they the number 2 in the East, or in the South? And where does Oregon fit in? But we got Boston University. Are they a 16 or are they a 15? Or they play it at 16. We'll figure it all out tomorrow. Do a little bit of homework.
Luckily, Rutgers, again, there's a lot of casualties to this. So Rutgers hasn't been to the dance in a long time, and they were absolutely slated, man.
Oh, they were in.
They had that win at Purdue, and they beat Maryland the week before. So
no, they were in. They were in. There was some upsets in there, but no upsets had happened, I believe, that would have knocked some bubble teams out. Though they had Indiana in, but I'll trust me on this one, everyone. And when we do our bracket, Indiana's not in. I don't care if all three of these guys vote them in. They're not in. I refuse to accept Indiana as part of my bracket. Anyways, we're going to wrap it up. We've talked about nothing for quite some time here. But we're going to be back every day boring the crap out of you with talking about nothing until we have something to talk about. And nobody talks about nothing like we do. Anyways, if there are 4 people that know a lot about nothing, enjoy your day, everyone. I wish we had more to tell you and more to talk about, and I wish we had breaking news like the NBA has decided to start this weekend. But it's not going to happen. But I believe that the NBA will be the leader in this, and these guys think it's the NHL, but I think it's going to be the NHL might be the first to resume, but the NBA is going to be the first to announce. Anyways, this is Mitch, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks everyone that's joined us. I know we got nothing else. Other sites are down. I don't know if are they down or they're just not showing up. I think a lot of sites are not showing up. It's going to take a lot more than that. I mean, I was fired from my own company with a non-compete, and I still went. That's a different story for a different day. Different story for a new lawsuit. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.